Good morning, students. This is Arindam Bhagia. Yesterday I was quite busy, so I was unable to upload any audiovisual presentation. So today I am uploading it. This particular presentation will cover the summary of part 2. And before I start, I will let you know that the part 2 has several chapters, which starts from chapter 19 and it ends in chapter 25. So pretty much 6 chapters we are going to discuss over here. So without wasting any time, let us move to the chapter 19 from where we are going to start. But as I told you earlier, the presentation is not designed in that way. So we will move slowly. The presentation is very much short, so there are a lot of things going on with this presentation, and I hope you will pay attention to that also. So in part 2, so this presentation actually collective summary of part 2, but what I am going to do, I am not going to give you the collective summary, rather I am going to give you the summary of chapter 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 and 25. Okay, so that's why this presentation is actually collective summary of part 2. So sometimes it may not match, so don't bother about it. Please pay attention whatever I am saying. So this part is known as 124 was loud. So what you got here? In chapter 19, what happens? Stampede, upon learning that Paul D left 124 Bluestone Road on the day that he saw the newspaper clipping, scolds himself for violating Seth's family's privacy. He thinks about the consequence of events that Baby Shark's family endured after the misery of beloved's murder and after the death of Baby Sharks shortly before the end of the Civil War. He recalls that after Baby Shark's death, neighbors distanced themselves from Seth, who avoided beloved's funeral service and stood stonily at the graveside. For 6 days after Paul D leaves, Stampede tries to knock on Seth's door but cannot find the courage to do so. On the other side of the door, at 124, Seth tries to rid herself of anger. She decides to take Denver and beloved ice skating. But before they go, her thoughts return to jail. The loss of her earrings and small parcels of food that Baby Sharks handed her through the bars. Seth remembers that during her leave of absence to attend the baby's funeral, Howard and Bugler refused to come near her. Within 3 months of being jailed, Seth gained her freedom. She bartered sex for a gravestone and had the carver inscribe one of the words that she heard Reverend Pike say during the funeral service invocation, "Dearly beloved." So, you can understand from where the title is. Weighed down by these memories, Seth trudges to work late for the first time in 16 years. Now, Stampede, pondering the source of his name and wondering if he owed a debt to Denver and Baby Sharks, discusses Seth's strange household with Ella, who was one of many black neighbors to snub. Seth, after Beloved's murder, Ella suggests that Stampede may find answers to his questions from Paul D, who has been sleeping at the church. Remember, he was uncomfortable with the presence of Beloved. Stampede chides Ella for not opening her own home to Paul D in a time of need. He rejects Ella's criticism of Seth and acknowledges that his own meddling causes Paul D to leave 124. As Seth ends a day's work for Sawyer, She recalls how trusting she was at Sweet Home before Mr. Garner's death. When things changed and slaves had to steal, lie, and deceive in order to endure life, she recalls humiliation at hearing schoolteacher instruct his nephews to catalogue her human traits and her animal traits. The realization that Bugler and Howard would soon be large enough for schoolteacher to sell disturbed her sleep. Seth congratulates herself for managing to save her children from slavery. So this happens in chapter 19. Slow. We will be moving to chapter 20 and 21. Now in this presentation you can see the stamp regretted. That part has been described in chapter 19. And he tried to visit but he was unable to visit 124. And from Ella he was informed that Paul D was actually staying in the basement of the church. You know the reason, because of the presence of beloved. He was feeling he had some uncomfortable feeling, that's why he was staying in the church. Now chapter 20 plus the realization that Seth actually murdered, so he distanced himself. So in chapter 20 we see that Seth continuing to wander the past, resolved in her choice to reclaim beloved. She recalls that she reported to Mrs. Garner that school teacher's nephew attacked her while he watched. Mrs. Garner, reduced to invalidism, did nothing about the atrocity. There is a lot of people in our society would like to spectate things, observe things, but they would not participate or they do not interfere with the wrong things. They will keep themselves in a safe distance. So Mrs. Garner is that kind of person. Through the dying woman's bedroom window, Seth heard shots. Quickly, she entrusted her 3 children to the woman in the wagon, and Seth returned to Sweet Home to try to find Hallie. The beatings she received for freeing her children cost her a piece of tongue, which she bit off when the lash opened the skin on her back. So, these are the tortures which we can find or which we can realize that how beloved was tortured. So this happens in chapter 20. Now we are moving to chapter 21. It's a very short chapter actually. In chapter 21, Denver ponders her brother's fear of their mother after she tried to kill them. Denver admits to herself that she is a recluse. Not since Miss Lady Jones' house have I left 124 by myself. Never. Her only forays into the world outside 124 have been a burial and the outing to the carnival. Her mind churning from worry that Seth will warm her and beloved. Denver remains alert. She frets, this time I have to keep my mother away from her. Her means here, beloved. She exults that Paul D is gone and vows to hang on till my daddy gets here to help me. Watch out for ma'am and anything coming the yard. The bright spot in Denver's reality is Baby Suggs, who taught her to appreciate and love her own body. The hope of Denver's future is beloved, who returned to fill the emptiness left by Baby Suggs' death. So this is we got in chapter 21. Now we will be moving to chapter 22 and 23. Now what happens in this chapter? Beloved, a combination of adult body and infant perceptions. Now in this presentation you can see Stampede went to the church to see Paul D. They talked and Stampede asked him about the new girl he saw in 124. Paul, there is a mistake here, it should be Paul D instead of Paul D. Told him that the girl came from nowhere and has no memory. The girl we are talking about is beloved. Now in chapter 22 what happens? Beloved, the description of beloved is given over here. A combination of adult body and infant perceptions tries to describe her experience on the other side, where death is a dead man on my face and daylight comes through the cracks. The strongest emotion left to her is love for Seth, whom she observed chewing and swallowing, intent on eluding a return to the other side. The spirit emphasizes, I'm not dead, I'm not. So, from this point, it has been clear that uh, beloved is not a very normal girl. She is infant in her attitude, but she is grown enough. She is kind of adult. And Paul D had least idea who she was, and he already encountered some unhappy instances, or rather uncomfortable situation he experienced with beloved. Now we are moving to chapter 24. In the presentation, we can see Stam told Paul about the story of his woman locked inside a house by a white man. This is a story reference of the story. Later, the man was found dead and the woman was gone. Stam made a conclusion: it must be her. He thought that it is that this particular incident or the situation what happened. The woman who left that place, it must be this beloved is that. You know, at the entrance of the church of the Holy Redeemer, this is chapter 24, Paul D sips from a liquor bottle and contemplates the crusty exterior that once protected his heart from the vulnerability. He relieves the demise of Sweet Home, the slave heaven that crumbled rapidly after Garner's death. Because Paul D and the other slaves refused to believe Sykes' description of slavery in the outside world, Paul D found the truth the hard way in the brutal Alfred, Georgia prison camp. The day the male slaves tried to escape from Sweet Home, Sykes was supposed to meet his lover, the 30-mile woman, and Hallie was supposed to bring along his wife and 3 children, means Seth and her 3 children. The black female Underground Railroad agent hidden in the corn promised to remain a night and half a day and to rattle to identify her whereabouts. Paul D recalls hearing unidentified gunshots that night and seeing Hallie inexplicably eat butter from the churn. Sykes joined Paul D and the 30-mile woman but could not account for the absence of Paul A. Hallie or Hallie's family. As school teacher, 4 adults and some pupils approached the dry creek bed. Sykes pushed his woman out of range. He and Paul D were apprehended. Sykes fought back. School teachers struggled to take him alive, but eventually determined that Sykes was of no use. He was desperately trying to bring back all his slaves, but Sykes was not in a mood to go back. So what he did actually, school teacher lit a fire and roasted Sykes, who was tied at the waist to a tree. School teacher then shot Sykes to quiet his singing to his unborn child 707. School teacher indicated that he should sell Paul D for $900 and replace him with 2 young male slaves so that Sweet Home would be worth the trouble it was causing him. To restrain Paul D, school teacher applied the 3-spoke collar. Paul D was hobbling toward a pot of cooked meal when Seth found him to inquire what had gone wrong. Paul D, shamed by his powerlessness, realized that Seth was still determined to escape. So you can see the male counterparts, they are powerless instead of Seth. Seth is very much determined. No matter whatever the situation she is facing, she wants to leave. She wants to escape. Putting together clues from the failed 1855 escape, Paul D deduces that Seth was assaulted by school teacher's nephew shortly after leaving him. Seth then informed Mrs. Garner of the violation and survived a lashing with the cowhide. He admires her courage and recognizes that her price was greater than his property that reproduced itself without cost. He recalls that he laughed with the bit in his mouth, and he was hitched to a buckboard bound for the prison camp in Alfred, Georgia. In retrospect, Paul D wishes that he had joined Sykes in his Juba song, a celebration of the new life carried by the 30-mile woman, humiliated by the dollar figure denoting his worth, by Seth's greater worth as a breeder, and by Mr. the condescending rooster. Poldy could not guess the degradation that he would endure in Georgia's prison. So that's happened. So, however, we can see that Seth had beloved hum a familiar tune. You can see in the latest chapter which I described, there was Sykes-So who was actually humming a song. So in chapter 25, this is the last chapter of part 2. Stampede, still faithful to the Christian calling, finds Poldy at the church, begs his pardon for interfering and offers him shelter in any home in the black neighborhood. Poldy relieves Stampede's anguish by admitted that Reverend Pike did open his residence to him. So basically Poldy was feeling guilty why he interfered with the family matter of, Stampede was feeling guilty because of the involvement of the information which he shared with Poldy. So anyway, so that's why Stampede was offering him help. Poldy refused the offer because he preferred to be alone. Stampede insists that his black neighbors are hospitable, even they do react harshly to express excess of pride. Trying to make amends for interfering with Poldy and Seth's relationship, Stampede tells Poldy about the anger that caused him to consider killing his wife, Vasti, for a months long sexual relationship with her white owner. So, this is Poldy's own story, who killed his wife because she had a sexual relationship with her white owner. The humiliation he left from his wife's relationship caused him to change his name from Joshua to Stampede. So this was the not original name of him. He states that his desire to murder was as low as slavery ever made him. As Poldy presses for information about Judy, a black neighbor who has offered to open her home to him, Stampede interrupts with an eyewitness account of Seth's infanticide. He declares, "She ain't crazy. She loved those children. She was trying to out-hurt the Hatter." Stampede presses Poldy about what he fears in 124. Poldy acknowledges that Beloved's abrupt appearance and behavior disturbs him. His rapid calculation of a lifetime of suffering leaves him with one question: how much is a nigger supposed to take? So, this is what happened in chapter 25, and this is the last chapter of part 2. What happened? That Beloved, the appearance of Beloved is something is mysterious, and that's why making Seth Beloved that Beloved has really come back, because he believes that Beloved is that child whom she actually killed. So that's the end of part 2. Hope you understand this one. I would like to tell you one thing. The source of all these things are two sources I would like to mention. One is slideshare.com, another is Clips Notes. So you can visit these two websites and find these visuals and the entire content whatever I said in these two websites. Thank you for your watching. Please like, share and subscribe if you think it is useful. Thank you. Bye.